very shortly. Bonjour, bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. This is the Love Entrepreneurs Show with Ellery Colslet, and today's special guest is Donna Brewer. Now, on this live stream, we tend to focus supremely about what is the Big Fix, and the Big Fix is the flagship product of the Love Entrepreneurs group, which is in fact a fellowship of people who are in business, around business, or want to support each other. Without necessarily being reciprocal. In other words, giving for the sake of giving so that we can all rise. All tides rise, all ships. So good morning and welcome to you both. Ellery, what are we talking about today?
Well, today, folks, I wanted to introduce you to this wonderful person called Donna Brewer, who is, I met Donna on the Trusted Business Community Association meeting, and next week we're going to be talking to Sean Hewitt, who is the founder of that organization, with whom we collaborate very closely. Now, when I eyed up Donna, I thought, wow, a like-minded person, somebody who's positive, who sees the good, the opportunity, not the negative. And we sort of got chatting. I explained to her about what we were trying to do at Love Entrepreneurs, because yes, we're a fellowship of entrepreneurs who've come together, regardless of the business size, by the way. You can go from an idea to a big business. And then we realized that, you know, Donna, and I've often thought about this, but Donna really hammered it into my mind. Look, the fundamental thing that all of these people are missing is strategy. Right. So we do that in Love Entrepreneurs. So we do the Big Fix, we do the planning up, which is the strategy bit, and then we fund businesses. So Donna sort of, you know, Donna has her own separate business academy, but she's also seen the benefit of coming along and helping out with a lot of the people within Love Entrepreneurs who will want to use we use this community currency called Silvertree or Silver. And she sees the sense in actually the need for people to have strategy, because what's happening, and Donna will be able to expound on this, is that people are coming along, they're doing a Big Fix, they get a report, they get 2 videos, and they get to do it over 2 days, and they leave in a pickle. Over to you, Donna.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we moved it around because I came and observed the Big Fix, which actually, by the way, is incredible. It's an incredible opportunity for business owners to come in and actually have other people and give you a different perspective. Because quite often when we're in our business, we're too involved in our business, you know. So strategy is about taking you out of the business a bit to look in the business. So the Big Fix gives you a bit of that opportunity in the sense that other people have eyes on your business, that allows you to think about how you're going. So it was great. But then, like Ellery said, what was happening was when people went away, they went back into their business. And that's where then there becomes an issue. And that's because that's what we do. We naturally do that, you see. But what we should do is be taking a step out and actually developing the strategy that's given at the Big Fix. There's quite a lot of information comes from the Big Fix. It's then unpicking that and think, what are my next steps? So we're creating this pathway, aren't we, Ellery, for people to go from the Big Fix to be able to hone their strategy for the next steps, which is deciding where they're at, where they want to go, how they're going to get there, and then how to use Love Entrepreneurs, Silvertree, the guidance, but also to get their business to grow.
Now, it appears to me, from what we were talking about in the green room before we came on, that to do that, you need a single certain amount of focus. And to do that, you need to almost declutter your mind to stop thinking about all those petty bits and pieces around it and try and focus. And part of the tools of the job to do that was meditation. And that we were talking a little bit about that just before we came on.
Yeah, we were. Part of it is, like you say, decluttering our mind. but also giving ourselves permission to step back and actually take a bit of time away from the business, which almost puts us into panic mode ourselves.
Yes.
And also then to think about looking in the business and being present, but also having someone. I would say we all do need someone. Eloise right. This is where business owners, we stop. We actually feel it's almost like weak or we're floundering if we have somebody to give us support.
Right.
But actually, support is essential. It's why I did what I did, was come back to mentor and support people in the small business space, because I saw people struggling to actually get to grips with their amazing expertise and actually building and growing a business. They're two different things, you know. You've got your business skills, you've got your skills that made you set up a business, but then you've got the business side and you need a different set of skills to join the two together.
Right.
And that's where I come in. I help people join the dots between their business, what they want to grow, and how to grow it. And that's done with strategy. And it's
now, I believe that you and Ellery have been talking about ways in which you can use those focuses that you've got there to help the way in which people can use Silvertree to help them grow.
We can, because what we've come up with is a strategy session, which so after people have done the big fix, what we're now doing is I'm actually having no pressure, genuine conversations to unpick that big fix a bit more, to see what came out of it and to feel what the next steps are, and then to start plan that and what that looks like. So we're doing that. And then from there is the strategy session or the get fit for funding, that if people want to grow and go to that next stage, we've got a channel that we're going to start taking people through, which is really exciting. And that allows people at a low cost to actually be able to grow and get the support that they need. And that's where Silvertree then becomes a tool.
Yeah, okay,
to actually allow that to happen.
Let me pass the baton over to Ellery. Now, Ellery, I know that sometimes sitting as you are potentially at the top of this tree, it can feel a bit daunting looking down and quite lonely. But I think it's important to surround yourself with people like Donna, who can help you see that by using that with a bit of strategic thinking, you can help people do better. Can you talk to me a little bit about that process that you're now undertaking with Donna?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on its head. I work better in a team of people. I've always said that my preferred position, Donna and I had this conversation the other day, didn't we? And I said that Don asked me, so where would you see yourself in a team? And I said, I would see myself as second in command. That's where I fit in perfectly. And that surprises a lot of people, because they would have expected me to have gone, oh, I need to lead the ship. That's not my comfort zone, whereas it is Donna's comfort zone, right? So the point being, we all need support, right? We all need strategic support. We can't do it all on our own. We just can't. Now, of course, I'm actually passionate about making sure the businesses survive. That's what I want to achieve, as does Donna. And my job is to come up with lots of different creative ways. Silvertree is a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. It's not the only one.
Yeah.
But to start to get people to think positively about other ways of doing things. And I realize in Love Entrepreneurs, we really need to. And in fact, I've just thought now, Donna, I think on the beginning of every big fix, we need to give you, that 2-minute pitch just to explain to people what you do and why you're here and why we're working together, so that people know who you are. Because the reason that businesses fail is money might be some of it, but it's not really money, actually, if the truth be told.
No.
The reason businesses fail is because people give up. That's why. That's why, you heard me moan earlier about, oh, I feel blah, 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 and that's why businesses fail, because people give up. They run out of, not so much money always, they run out of energy is what happens.
Yeah, they do.
They run out of energy. They get depressed. They get anxious. They get overwhelmed. And that comes
lonely, don't they? They get lonely and isolated as well.
that comes back to the meditation point, right? That you said at the beginning, and Gareth said, the importance of having that time out to meditate, where you can focus on the nothing and allow those ideas to come up, knowing that you're safe. And it's a practice, but it's a practice that every single successful, and I hate that word successful, because success doesn't mean necessarily loads of cash, by the way.
No.
It means actually doing something, showing up, and actually doing what you're meant to be doing. That's success.
I think showing up is about 80% of the solution. I mean, a lot of people are very good at spinning ideas. It's putting them into practice, or at least trying to put them into practice. I think you have to try to put them into practice to achieve. And when people don't get off the chops, that they're always stuck in neutral, they never actually start moving forward.
Or are they actually stuck in reverse, some of them,
Well, you know what? I wouldn't care if they're in reverse or one, as long as they're moving somewhere.
And I think if we all accepted that we all need support and want support, and it's okay to have somebody like me that's an accountability partner saying, have you done this? Have you done this? What's the next step? Let's implement that. Let's do that, which is part of strategy. It's different to coaching, you see. Coaching, I do both. So I'm an accredited coach and an accredited strategist with years and years of experience of building businesses from scratch, growing those businesses and scaling those businesses. Okay. So having gone through that, and I wouldn't have gone through that without some accountability and support from different people from the outside space. I didn't do it internally. I did a lot of work, but externally I had a lot of help as well. And I think that's where strategy comes in. And actually, there is a fear of success or fear of failure. But we have to understand that fear of success, you can actually pay for a framework that means success is easy. Because you can have somebody doing your website, doing your brand, doing this, actually doing your bookings for you, so you can focus on what you're doing. And that's what I like about Ellery's Fit for Funding. It's a pathway for people to grow into, get the support so that they can focus on what they want to do. And when people do that kind of work, the strategy then takes care of itself. That's the work that people are then not doing because they feel they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know what it looks like.
Can I just say something you see here that's really important? The actual process of running a business, and I'm still struggling with this, right? But Donna will know, it's actually a process. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with, it's a completely separate process from the individual running a business.
Yeah.
There's a distinct, almost engineering, I've just created a new word, engineering like process that you follow.
I like engineering. I like keep that. I'll keep that.
It's nice. Yeah, I like it.
So there's just a process that we go through, and that's all it is. And we need to trust the process. The process is the same, actually, whether you've got a really big business or a tiny business. It is exactly the same. And what we're seeing with the big figs is everybody's going, oh yeah, the big fix is amazing, it's fantastic. They're going off bubbling with all these wonderful ideas. And first thing you see, they go off and get someone to do a website, but they haven't even decided, they haven't even questioned who is going to buy my services and why. Have they really tested that market? Do they really know? Because you can do that without spending a penny, literally. Haha, no pun intended. But you can, and people don't do that, right? So they set off and they spend loads of money with somebody, and then the next thing they say is, oh well, that business didn't work, or that website designer or that process was crap because they didn't do. Now, never do they actually ask, hang on, what part did I play in that? And the part they played in it is they didn't know what their business was. Yeah. They had no idea what their business really was. And they were just and I've done this and I do this and I'm guilty of this because I'm human. We all do this, right? It's not that I'm perfect, Donna's perfect, you're perfect. No, we all do this, right? Because this is the natural way of behaving. We've had great ideas, we want to go off and start them, but it's a bit like going off and learning French with only a phrase book and turning up and expecting to get a seat in Parliament. It just doesn't, hello, there is a bit that you need to do in the in-between, like learning verb conjugations, I hate to say it, And it's the same with a business, and it's almost like an engineering jigsaw puzzle. It's like it's a line. And part of that is mental health. Part of that is really understanding, where are your trigger points? And I'll be honest, I'm going through a bit of a mental wobble at the moment. We don't really know why. It just is. But that's part of the journey too. How do you deal with and control and keep going through those mental wobbles? When you teach people that this is completely normal,
then it's different, Ellery. You're right. And it gives you an anchor. You see, it is part of the journey to doubt yourself and to go, especially the more we know about neuroscience, how the brain works, in the fact that when you're going to challenge yourself to do something new, it's normal. The brain goes, I want to protect you. I want to look after you. Are you sure? So it's natural that this that this kicks in. Okay. It's natural to have procrastination, but the reason that happens is because we're thinking about the end goal, right? But what instead, if we take the first step and the next step, because there's never a straight line to where you want to be in business. It's a snake, it's a journey, right? You don't have to have it all figured out. What you need to do is be having the vision of where you want to go and then taking those steps to it. And that is where people stop and they have this fear that kicks in, so they don't take that next step. However, when they've figured some strategy out and they've got a framework, it starts to light them up with purpose.
Yeah, that's so true.
To quote the Chinese philosopher Lan Tzu, yeah, you didn't think you'd be hearing that this morning. The journey of 1,000 steps starts with but a single one. And on that note, I want to thank Donna for stepping into the breach where devils fear to tread, to help support the idea that Love Entrepreneurs is a fellowship. And I want to draw attention to Donna Brewer's own website. I'm going to give you a QR code. You can see it top right. Grab your phones right now and quickly scan it in. It actually goes to donnabrewer.com. Is it .com?
It is .com. And you
Wonderful.
can grab a free call with me. Come along to the Big Fix. Let's get into each other's world, because And
to add that, if you see there's another QR code on the bottom left-hand corner, that goes to loveentrepreneurs.com and is your first step in your journey on the Big Fix. The Big Fix is entirely free, and we'll give you the grounding and the next steps with a fulsome report at the end of it that you can then go on to. And also, Donna Brewer would help you disseminate that and try and do a bit of accountability there. Thank you both for taking part today, and thank you out there for watching. And remember, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and please try and look after that mental health. Until next week, goodbye.